High up in the mountains here at Spielberg, it's time for qualifying on what will be the fastest laps of the season. Stand by for qualifying at the Austrian Grand Prix.
Hello everybody, it's Joe here, and welcome back to my F1 24 career mode, Season 1, round number 11. This is Austria for the Austrian Grand Prix, and we've got some impeding from George Russell there. Cheers for that, mate, really appreciate that. But also, some of the eagle-eyed of you may be wondering, what happened to round 10? Where's the Spanish Grand Prix, as I nearly lose it on the gravel there. Long story short, the file corrupted before I could edit it, meaning that it ended up being unusable, so I do apologise for that. But you really didn't miss a classic race. I spun round on lap 2, ended up pottering round behind everybody, and eventually retired the car to save the engine, so you missed nothing there. But here we go into round 11, and we've made it through Q1 quite nicely. We're now in Q2. This is sprint qualifying, I should also establish. It is a sprint weekend here in Austria, so we've got 2 races ahead of us, 2 chances to do well. And we have had some more upgrades bolted to the car, so it's looking good for us. We're starting to make some good strides. Canada was a very positive race. We started at the back and ended up finishing P6. Which I was absolutely chuffed about, and now we're here in Austria making it into SQ3 actually, so that in itself is an achievement. That, however, was not. We ended up going off, losing time, and that will be that. We will be starting P10, but that's nothing to be ashamed about. I was absolutely chuffed with that. Top 10 for the sprint race. Chance to move forward. The pace seemed relatively decent, so I'm not looking at that as a loss. I'm looking at that as a potential opportunity. But Max Verstappen taking pole for the sprint, as you would expect.
It's wet here today and we're expecting those downpours to continue. This will make for a difficult sprint for all the teams. It's a short lap here in Spielberg with just 10 corners, 7 to the right and 3 to the left, making up the total distance of 2.6 miles. And expect to see a lot of cars running wide today, especially through the last corner, as the wet conditions make the cars skittish through the downhill sections. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Lando Norris lines up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Perez, Sainz, Leclerc, Fernando Alonso, Oscar Piastri, Hamilton, Russell, Sunshine, Stroll, Tsunoda, Albon, Ricciardo, Hülkenberg, Ocon, Gasly, Bottas, Magnussen and Logan Sargent. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint. And alongside me today is a man who needs...
It's very damp in Austria, and we've got 12 laps ahead of us in the damp conditions. What can we do here? We are underway, and it's not a very good start. And to our left is Lance Stroll, who's got away really well, and Yuki Tsunoda trying to go down the inside. We're trying to find a way around the outside. That's not really worked for us, although in one sense it has, because we've kept Yuki Tsunoda behind us. But now we have also lost the place to Stroll, charging down up the hill towards turn 3. And everybody going very slow around there. Is there a way to gain places around the outside? Answer, no. Although we are side by side with the Mercedes of Russell, but he got a really nice bit of traction out of the corner, which we were unable to get. And now we're taking a look down the inside of the pair of them, but we're not getting that stopped in time. And Tsunoda finding a way to come back past. and we bang into his side there, but Yuki Tsunoda gaining 11th. We're down to 12th. We're also going a little bit deep there, which might allow Alex Albon a look if we're not careful. And indeed, Albon is taking a look. He's now side by side with us. This has not been a good opening lap at all. We do have Alex Albon alongside, but we're able to fight him off, so we're holding on to P12. At the end of the first lap, Verstappen leading the way, and as the laps clock down, we're not able to catch Russell and Tsunoda ahead, and we're actually struggling to pace just a little bit in these damp conditions. Although Tsunoda seems a little bit backed up there. I'm not sure if he made a mistake or anything, but we gained quite a few tenths on him there, and now we're catching up. Is there an opportunity to take P11? I'm going to drain the battery going up the hill and see if there is any chance at all that we can make gains. We have got a yellow flag in front of us, so I'm not sure who that's for, but we do have that yellow flag, and I think somebody is pulling off to retire. It's Max Verstappen! Max Verstappen pulling off to retire, so we have got Max Verstappen out of the race, and now I'm up into P11, so anything that's ahead of us, I will accept. At the end of lap 6, the rain is stopping, and I'm thinking this is a good moment to change tyres. We're going to try the slicks for the last few laps. Hope some of the AI pit. If they do, then, well, we might be able to get a little undercut on them. If they don't, though, we'll have fresh, soft tyres, which will be an advantage because it is drying up. We leave the pit lane, so either way, this could work out for us. It's a gamble nonetheless. Leaving the pit lane and getting up to speed. Hopefully we can get these tyres up to temperature and get some good pace out of them as we charge up the hill towards turn 3, jamming on the brakes. And the grip is definitely there, so the car does feel fine. But we've got a red flag! At the worst possible time, we have a red flag. So pitting was a mistake, because now we're going to be starting right at the back, and there's only a few laps left. And we're even further on the back foot because we're on mediums in comparison to most of the pack going on fresh soft. So that's really backfired for us, actually. But I'm going to try and find a way through if there is one. We got Sargent and Albon blocking the path, so I can't get through there. The two Williams now going side by side. Is Logan Sargent going to find a way through? I'm going to have a little nip up the inside, see if we can do anything. And in fact, we've caught a few of them napping there as we give Daniel Ricciardo a bit of a love tap. But none of it matters anyway, because our engine is failing, and that is us out of this sprint race.
Well, that's an end to the sprint action.
Not the ending we would have hoped for, but Carlos Sainz is your winner. Lando Norris is second, Sergio Perez third, and then it's Alonso, Piastri, Leclerc, Russell and Stroll completing your point scorers from this sprint. I'll be honest, I regret the pit stop because we could have, it could have come to us in the end, but full race ahead, we've got to stay positive.
It's time for qualifying on what will be the fastest laps of the season. Stand by for qualifying at the Austrian Grand Prix.
We've dropped to P12. 20.
Unfortunately, however, due to the failure, we will have to take a 5-place grid drop. So, really not ideal moving into the race, but opportunities could still come to us. So, we started near the back at Canada and we still made it to P6, so it's not the end of the world, particularly round here on a circuit where overtaking is very much possible. And we nearly lose it in the penultimate corner there, hitting the curb. But so far, this lap feels relatively competitive. And it is. That was enough for P7. And we get through Q1 nicely. But Q2 is an entirely different matter. And in the end, I elected not to run in Q2, start from the back, and work my way forwards.
Welcome from the beautiful Styrian Mountains for another chapter in the story of the Austrian Grand Prix. It's one of the shortest laps on the calendar today then, with 7 rights and just 3 lefts, making up the 10 corners of this high-speed circuit. Turn 2 is barely a corner at all. They'll be flat out through there, a left hand. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position, edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Oscar Piastri, Perez, Leclerc, Fernando Alonso, Russell, Hamilton, Stroll, Ricciardo, Gasly, Bottas, Magnussen, Ocon, Albon, Sargent, Tsunoda, Hülkenberg, Sainz, and Sunshine. And alongside me today, a man small in stature but big on comment, Anthony Davidson. Hello. I know what we've got to do before the...
To start this race, but given we're back here at the back of the grid...
Well, we got 36 laps to see what we can do here, so let's be positive. The 5 red lights are on, and we are underway for this Austrian Grand Prix. It's a very nice little start there, already getting ahead of Carlos Sainz, but Sainz getting a better second phase and going to the outside. I'm going to see if I can follow him through, although Albon's banging wheels with me and nearly forcing me wide. But look at Sainz already making up multiple places. But they're now going to go 3 wide. Is there room for a 4th? I'm going to try... No, I'm not. I'm not going to try that. I'm going to back out of that. And Sainz is still on the left. He's made his way up to 17th. Yuki Tsunoda dead ahead in 18th. We're down to 19th. And Ocon is currently 16th. Is there a way through Tsunoda up the inside here? Well, that was a very late overtake. That wasn't meant to be an overtake. That was us missing our braking spot and turning it into an overtake. So a bit of a half move there, but we still pulled that off and move up into P18 by the end of the first lap. So we've already made up 2 places, which is very, very encouraging moving forward. But we need to keep this momentum going if we are to gain any points from this Grand Prix. And now Carlos Sainz is going up the inside of Nico Hülkenberg. Oh, that didn't work. We're now going to try and pull alongside him here. And there might be a way through. We're going to go 3 wide up the hill there. That's extremely brave. That could end nasty if it goes wrong. It's not going wrong. We're braking later. Although I'm having to avoid Esteban Ocon, who was going... As Leclerc and Verstappen go wheel to wheel, I'm now going around the outside of Lando Norris. Couldn't quite pull it off there, but we're now trying to get a better run down the straight before turn 4. Is there a way through Norris? I'm taking a look around the outside, but I'm running out of track. And Nico Hülkenberg sees the invitation to go past and gets past. This increasing my headache. What have I got to do to get a point from this race? The pace is there, but oh, this is frustrating. This is so frustrating. And we've only got 3 laps to go if we're going to make a point out of this race. We're a little bit wide there, but I'm now trying to find a way past Hülkenberg, and I'm harrying the Haas, harassing the rear of the Haas. Hulkenberg going to the inside. That was a little bit of a preemptive defence there. I don't know why he defended, because I wasn't really there. But because he went in so tight, he was compromised. And I went round the outside, took the position, and now these 3 are still at it. And Norris is right there for the taking. He didn't get a good run out of the corner that time. And this gives us the invitation that we have been looking for. It's going to have to be a brave send here and now on Lando Norris. And finally we get our man. And we move up into P10 for 1 championship point. Now, what can we do about Leclerc and Verstappen? Can we do anything? Norris is having a look down the inside. You're not having the place, mate. You're not having it. And it is now the last lap. We weren't able to catch, and I think my tyres have had enough from being behind, being in that DRS train all through the second half of this race. Oscar Piastri is your race winner for this Austrian Grand Prix. But for us, it's P10, 1 point. And I don't know, I feel like a little bit of a missed opportunity from this one.
Grand Prix race winner, Oscar Piastri.
Race victory and fastest lap as well. You can see how much, by the way, that fastest lap mattered to them today. It's a bit like marking your territory, isn't it, Crofty? They're looking for absolute dominance, and this seems to be their mission this year.
Our drivers are making their way out for the podium celebrations, and it's going to be McLaren picking up the winner's trophy. Congratulations to the entire team for that fantastic performance.
It's not all negative though. Look at Valtteri Bottas securing P6. So it's a great day for the Sauber team as Bottas secures 8 points with a fantastic result. We get 1 point. I'm happy for Valtteri, I really am. That's a brilliant result. And he really needed it as well. But look at Daniel Ricciardo up in P4 there. That's insane. Your top 5 then are Piastri, Perez, Hamilton, Ricciardo and Stroll. But you know what? I'm not discouraged. That's a stunning result for Sauber. Double points. 6th and 10th. I will absolutely take that for the team. And Verstappen still leading the way with Alonso 2nd in the title. Leclerc 3rd, Norris 4th, Perez, Piastri, Sainz, Russell, Hamilton and Stroll completing the top 10. With us just outside the top 10. Well, that's a race I feel like we left scraps on the table there. I really feel like A, with the timing of the red flag, and B, getting stuck in DRS trains, we really lost out. I feel like we had more pace to showcase and potential for a better result was there. But we'll move on to the next one, which is the British Grand Prix. Thank you so much for watching this instalment of Career Mode. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content from me. Until the next time, TTFN, ta-ta for now, take care, and I'll see you all soon.